Alright, welcome back guys, Strafe here. And we're going to be going over the community stream from June 22nd today, as well as giving my July rankings, for next month. And sorry if the audio sounds a little bit choppy, I do have the AC running in the background because it's really hot where I am right now. It's 90 degrees, pretty humid as well, and I'm sweating in my room, so the AC may be on. Sorry if you do hear it running in the background. So starting off with the first image, we're going to get the character boards for the rest of the units from this past month that are missing. So for myself, I'm going to do Fujin, Aphmaw, and then RCL and Kais were already boarded because they came with that. But I would recommend recent characters. In terms of the old protagonists, units like Zack and Lightning and Sarah are really good. I did Sarah and I'm very impressed. She's actually very viable for KS now after her boards. Whereas she wasn't really used at all before. It's kind of weird, just, simple boards made her all that much viable. If you guys are gonna, use old characters, definitely board them up. But I would definitely recommend saving them for the newer release units. And then we're finally gonna get the character voice lines in co-op, which is crazy actually. I think JP had this for at least 6 months before we did, maybe a year before. Like, it was due for a long time and we just never had any kind of voice lines in co-op, but now we're gonna have all of them, it seems like. That's gonna be very exciting. You just push the button and the character will say the line in, using their Japanese voice, but then you get this pop-up of the text as well. So that's gonna be very fun for co-op, which is pretty much stale before, and people with spam stickers, that will get annoying. Autoplay and UI hide, I'm not sure actually what that means because I didn't watch the stream today, so I apologize guys. Next up, we get the story chapter releasing in 3 days, and this is Cloud of Darkness and Kefka. Kefka has his limited costume, which looks kind of funny. I don't know how it looks in game, but the colors are really bright, and it just makes him look more like a jokester, than he already is. You don't have to take him seriously. That's the kind of vibe I get from the costume. Kefka is going to be pretty strong with the realization, so is Cloud of Darkness. But for me, I think Cloud of Darkness is pretty much just your damage dealer role, typical damage dealer. And then Kefka fulfills a lot of good shutdown with the debuffs. He actually takes up 6 slots, I believe, with the realization. So he gets pretty strong, and he can just act as your pseudo dispeller against the enemies. Cloud of Darkness can solo certain content. She can solo Alexander Chaos as well as FFXIII, but I don't think she solos many other FFXIII tiers. She's not really big on soloing. Don't fall into that trap if you guys think she can solo like every tier. That's a different character. That's Cater, not Cloud of Darkness. Then this is a surprise actually. Abyss Normalist, new stratas 4, 5, and 6. So again, I didn't watch the stream, so I don't know if this is going to be coming with Chaos quests. I assume they are because the last one did have a Chaos. 4, 5, and 6, that might be 3 additional Chaos missions, which is pretty exciting. And new code requires certain characters or summons or something like that. So this is gonna be fun. I'm all down for new exclusive content for global. I do expect Square to release early Lufenia because of this. They were able to come up with new content, so I do expect them to do that so that we don't have 4 months of dead garbage time. So that's my assumption. Gonna be on the record. Okay, next up we're gonna have Aphmaw and Eldnarsh event. So first up is Aphmaw, and she's gonna be coming with Lion. Both of them gets EX+. Aphmaw is gonna be one of the strongest supports in the game that we've had in a long time. Rivaling a lot of supports like Penelo, Aphmaw. She's just gonna be up there, if not surpassing them, because he gets so much for your team. Her 35 already gave you 100% debuff evasion like Lena. She also gives you brave damage reduction with the shields. And then a lot of brave regen with the automaton buff. But now with EX+, she dishes out a lot of damage too. And she has aura frame buffs. So she's very strong. Lion comes back. She's one of the unique melee dispellers with her EX. It cleanses debuffs on all enemies, so she's coming back. She's going to be pretty good. And then Garnet Eldnarsh is going to be pretty hyped banner. Eldnarsh is going to be a very strong damage dealer. If the boss is actually targeting Eldnarsh and you inflict terror on the enemy, they will just freeze and can't do anything. So whether that's a single target attack or whether that's an all attack, you can just nullify them as if they were HP silenced by Kefka or Arceala, they're just going to stand there and do nothing, stand there menacingly, so you can just wail on them and take them out. Eldritch is going to be very strong, and he gets a lot of free turns via the Realm mechanic. So if you guys remember, Realm gets free turns after the enemy acts, and they don't count towards the turn action. Eldritch gets the same thing as Realm, and this applies to actually friend units as well. That means your Eldritch friend can last longer than 5 turns. It doesn't go to 5 to 4, it just stays at 5 turns remaining, which is kind of crazy. So in that case, Eldritch is going to be a very strong damage dealer, as well as providing great utility. And then Garnet comes back with a bang. She's been very weak for a long time. The last time she was actually viable was 35 CP era. She did come back actually because of Beatrix, so she was used in the EX era through Beatrix, but she definitely fell off before Cosmos came around. And now she finally comes back very strong. She empowers 2 elements, same as before, but she also heals now, gets an instant turns just like Y'shtola EX. She gets a lot more Brave Regen and Party Aura now. She didn't have any kind of Party Aura before, but now she comes back with Party Max Brave and Attack Aura, so she's going to be a very strong support character coming up for a long time. This next one is going to be a summer event. It's kind of cool. So JP did have this summer Cactuar event, if I remember correctly. And we're going to get 8 free multi-draws. So from what I heard, we're going to get some free draws on like the Eldritch banner as well. So that's going to be kind of cool. And this is going to be more Psycho Quest rewards, more summer panels, which is always nice because they always tend to give us more ingots, more tickets. And then 3 times pot rewards from the Orb Quest. That's kind of mad for me because Heretics already give so many tokens where you can just buy your orbs, so I don't really need that. Yeah, that's kind of meh to me. You know, free draws are always a good sign and always take free stuff. Summer Festival Part 2. This is just gem sales. Support item sales, 3 times effects. You're going to be needing to buy some of that for the summon board grind of Alexander. That's going to be great, but don't be afraid because that's going to be on sale during the event once it launches as well. They always do that. And then next up is weapon enhancement chests with the ingot packages. To me, I don't think they're worth it because it's a little bit pricey in terms of the packaging that they've offered. Only the Black 5-day sale has been pretty much on the money, but everything else has been kind of too expensive for my taste. But hey, if you guys are short on ingots, you know, that's always an option. Alright, Summer Incursion. Aranea returns. This is actually pretty interesting because this means we don't have to wait a year before her Lost Chapter comes around. We're going to skip the re-event. It's just going to go straight into her Lost Chapter. Definitely need to pick her up because she's going to be a powerhouse for a long time. She's still viable, still meta, I would say. And then we get a Summer Incursion draw. We're not sure what that's going to be because they didn't announce the characters. They didn't even show like Cater. That might be Cater's EX Plus. But anyway, the first draw is free. And we're going to get this new sticker as well. Dimensions End. This is going to be rewarding you guys if you cleared all the tiers. Current one we have is 12. And if you clear that, you're going to get all these juicy gems, juicy nuggets and ingots. Definitely do that. And again, it is time limited as well. It's not going to be permanent. So you definitely have to get caught up to get these rewards. For tier 13, we're going to have this brand new reward as well. 20k gems. 20 nuggets and 1 book. Very strong rewards, so you do have to complete tier 13 to get them. And again, it's going to be time limited till the end of the month, July 29. So again, it's not going to be permanent. You do have to get caught up and complete the content to get the rewards. And the plane is still the same. It's going to be Mithril. Tough against Melee. I haven't really looked into the tier too much in terms of research. Ujin, Kais are going to be dominating the tier for sure. I know they're very viable. So you can just imperil and just launch them. They're going to go down. But in terms of damage, I think they dish out a lot of damage, a lot of AoE damage as well. So if you have a tank remaining, most people probably don't have a tank, but some kind of mitigation like Hope would be really good here. Parome would be really good. But again, Fujin Kites would just dominate. You just need some kind of support and mitigation after that. So Hope, Parome, and then you'll be good to go. You'll be crushing the tier. Next up, we have the Alexander Grind, which is going to have Saz and Raijin EX+. So both of them are pretty strong. Both have great utility. I would definitely recommend both of them to players, veterans, or newcomers alike. Saz, the gimmick for him is now, he used to give attack, max brave, and critical up only, but now with his EX+, he gets a unique buff. It's not even framed, it's just a unique buff like Shantoto or Papalima with the foul buff. And what it does is increases the critical damage for your party. It's the same potencies as Aranea's Vital Crusher debuff, so essentially he does what Aranea does for your entire party, which is boost their critical damage, at the same time raising everybody's critical rate. So you're always going to be doing critical, and then you're going to be hitting that higher number as well, so he's gonna be pretty good. Raijin, he gets paralysis now. He also gets HP regen and thunder, imperil, and enchant. So he's going to be a very strong support unit that does many different roles and very viable coming up because people can resist, you know, brave reduction like Alexander, but if you imperil them, your damage is increased. And then as for farming, I would say Saz is probably the fastest. Raijin, I'm not sure, he might be second fastest here in terms of farming, but I would definitely recommend throwing tickets at least on this banner because we're going to get, you know, 380 draw tickets just from farming the event. I would definitely recommend throwing at least the tickets at these characters. And then we're going to get Tidus's costume. It looks, you know, the same as what he's already wearing. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Charlotta Lost Chapter. He's gonna be coming with Rydia, and it's sad to say, but Charlotta doesn't get a rework. Rydia does get a rework. Charlotta gets more batteries through her stats. She also gets a new HP plus, but she pretty much does the same thing as what she did before. She gets a small party aura now, and I think she gets a max brave overflow aura for your party, so she gets up to par in terms of the sport status now. And then Rydia, the water enchant and peril. It's easier to do now with her EX plus. She gets more damage. She gets a new animation that you actually see the dragon now, which is like clap clap for square, because before she would just turn around and nothing would be there and mist would just fly at the enemy. It was very subpar, very lacking for 2 years. Finally it's going to be updated, so yes, thumbs up for square. But for me, Rydia, she kind of pales in comparison to the other enchanters like Garnet and Raijin, because they bring more than just enchant and peril, and more than just aura. They bring healing. They, you know, Raijin brings paralysis. Garnet brings brave regen for your party. So Rydia doesn't really have battery for your team, so she's kind of lacking. But again, if you guys are fans of Rydia, she's definitely still pretty viable if you need enchant and periler. And then the last event is going to be Trey. Trey with Keistis. Trey is a damage dealer. He is enemy phase like Emperor. The enemy moves and they get blown up. That is pretty much Trey. But he does have strong damage during your phase too. So he's just a strong damage dealer all around. But his main gimmick is once the enemy moves, they're going to get blown up by his traps and debuffs. Keistis, he comes back. And the sad thing about Keistis is she doesn't get much changes. She gets a rework for sure, which batteries through all her moves now. But the sad thing with Keistis is she doesn't get a free ability. So she has bad longevity, and then her AA is just 1 use, which recovers 1 use of the whip. So essentially you have 4 whips and that's it. So compared to someone like Leo who has free abilities, you can just keep delaying. With the Master Blade, she's kind of lacking. Aranea even has more delay abilities, and you know, all the rebreaks count as delays. So Keistis is kind of lacking in terms of EX plus reworks and realizations. And then we get a picture of Joshua and his cat again. Kind of funny, Josh is gritting his teeth. I don't know what happened. The cat wants to get out of there. And that's the last slide. So that is all the slides for June. So moving on, we're going to have my July rankings. And you guys will enjoy this one. I put Aphmaw, Aranea, and Eldnarsh here. So Aranea, as you guys know, very strong damage dealer. She enables your party with delays through the Vital Crusher debuff, boosting your damage output. So she's still going to be relevant, still meta. Definitely recommend it for newer players to pick her up if you missed the event earlier. She's one of the best damage dealers that we've had in the game and will continue to be viable. I'd say even going into LD and Burst era because of that Vital Crusher debuff. For Aphmaw, she's a very strong support unit. She dishes out a lot of damage. She also does healing. She gives your party 100% debuff evasion. Pretty good brave regen as well. So she does a lot of different things for support. Very strong. She covers many roles. And she does some decent damage for a support unit, so she's going to be given the meta status as well. And then we're going to have Eldnarsh up here. His role is mostly just a damage dealer, but I put him up here because through his terror debuff, he can actually nullify enemy actions, just like Arceala can do that with HP silence. So you can knock him out different rounds, and your party is free to just wail on the enemies, so therefore he gets meta status because he covers great utility and high damage at the same time. Moving on, we got great utility. Large majority of the cast this month is Kefka, Garnet, Charlotta, Saz, and Raijin. So let's just start off with Kefka. Same ranking from last month over. He gets HP silence, he gets more potencies on his debuffs, so he can shut down bosses that way. And he just excels in just nullifying the bosses and their damage output, so he gets a great utility. Garnet, he's a pretty strong support unit. The only reason I don't put her up as meta is because her damage isn't quite as high, and you know, she may struggle a little bit with longevity because you do have to weave in a lot of HP plus abilities, even though she does get a free one after her EX. But she gets a lot of bravery gen, she gets a lot of Imperil for your team. You get 2 dual Imperils. Most of the other enchant Imperils are just one element. As far as I remember, she's the only one that does dual elements, so she's actually a standout choice for enchanting Imperiling. She also has healing, she also has brave regen for your party, so she covers many different roles as well. Charlotta, HP damage increase, as you guys remember from her EX ability. So she's still really relevant. She gets a better HP plus now with the realization, but she does everything she did before, just higher stats, more party benefits, so I give her great utility. For Saz, he gets pretty unique mechanics now, which is essentially what Aranea does with the Vital Crusher debuff. So those two are going to be boosting critical damage for your team. The only thing that he's kind of lacking would be like battery, because he doesn't have much battery for your team, or healing for that matter. So in that case, I give him great utility instead of meta, for instance. And then the last one we have is Raijin. So Raijin does a lot. He actually does bring healing for your party as well. He also brings paralysis, and he also brings Imperil for Thunder, Imperil, and Enchant. So he's pretty strong kit. The only thing I would say for Raijin is, again, his damage may not be super high, but he has a lot of great utility, and he rounds up your team very, very nicely. People have even used him in Lufenia, for instance. A lot of these characters can be used in Lufenia, like Saz, Garnet, Aphmaw. They have such great utility, you will see them coming up for months on end. Alright, coming up, we have high damage. So for this one, Cloud of Darkness for sure gets a spot here, and then we have Trey, and then we have Lion as well. Cloud of Darkness is pretty much the queen of damage dealers here. Builds up stacks, and then she can delay them with her EX, and also 5 stacks of skill 2. But pretty much that's all she does, it's just damage. She doesn't bring other utilities for your team, so I have to give her just high damage. For Trey, he gets a lot of traps. It's kind of like Emperor version 2.0 if you guys like his playstyle. Once the enemy moves, they just get blown up to pieces from all the traps and the marks. But again, Trey is mostly just going to be a damage dealer and no other utility. For Lion, she has damage, but she also has Dispel, which is kind of unique. She also has some debuffs as well, but again, they're not going to be using Lion for the debuffing. You could use Lion for a Dispeller. We don't really need too many Dispellers in the game. Her main role is just going to be high damage, so I give her that. And the last category we have is just going to be Viable. So yeah, this one is tough to rank. Rydia and Quistis, they both do a lot of different roles. They have party auras. Rydia has the Water Imperil enchantment. And then Quistis also has the battery, lots of battery. And then she has delay with the Degen Whip. But for me, I think Quistis doesn't compare as well to units like we have, like General Leo or Aranea, that have more delays. She only has 4 whips, because her AA only recovers 1 of them and she doesn't have a free ability. So she's kind of lacking in terms of delay. All Quistis is going to be used for is pretty much the turn rate down, and then the auras, and the battery. So I give her Viable. As for Rydia, she doesn't heal your party, which is the big hit against her compared to the other enchanters like Garnet or Raijin that can heal your party. She brings attack auras like Fusion does, and then 1 Imperil enchant through water. She doesn't have battery in her kit. If she had more battery, she could bypass, you know, enemy defenses and resistances moving forward, so that's why I give her Viable. And then as for Cater, Cater can solo many FEOD tiers, so she may be good for newer players who are just starting up the game, who don't have many ingots to go for. She can just clear up one stage like FEOD 13 coming up, you can get all the rewards coming, and you just need 3 ingots to max her out. However, you do need to get some cursed artifacts, double perfects on her. I think she needs 2 of them at least to solo a tier, so don't quote me on that, but that's just what I've heard in terms of rumors going around. Right out of the box, she's not going to be able to solo FEOD tiers, so I give her Viable status. But again, if that's what you need, if you're a new player, you can go for her to clear up some tiers for your team. But that's going to be it for July rankings, guys. Hopefully the video helped you out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.